Welcome to this Swift video. There are times when you want to cancel or close all or part of an existing purchase order. The process to update the purchase order depends upon its status and the type of update. You may be able to cancel or close all or part of it. You can cancel or close an existing purchase order line, schedule, or distribution line. This video will briefly describe the options to cancel or close a purchase order or line in Swift's purchase order module. Please refer to the Swift reference guides for the details of these options. This video will discuss the following objectives. It will discuss the difference between canceling and closing a purchase order or line. It will describe how to cancel a purchase order. It includes how to cancel the entire purchase order on the header or how to cancel the purchase order line on the line from the details for line page. It will summarize how to cancel a purchase order referencing a requisition. Close all purchase orders in the buyer's workbench. This video will briefly describe the buyer's workbench to close an individual purchase order. It will also discuss how to close a purchase order referencing a contract using a change order and then using the buyer's workbench. It will review how to close multiple purchase orders using a CSV file in the buyer's workbench. Before canceling or closing a purchase order or line, always check to see if there are receipts or vouchers against it. Cancel a purchase order or line when the purchase order or line has not been received or vouchered. Cancel the purchase order or line on the purchase order itself. Close a purchase order when the purchase order has been fully or partially received or vouchered. Close the purchase order or line in the buyer's workbench. Make sure you understand the implications of canceling and closing purchase orders and purchase order lines. Implications include whether a reversal is possible, the impact on the budget that the purchase order uses, and the impact on the contract that the purchase order references. The first step to determine if you can close or cancel a purchase order is to check the status of it. Look at these fields on the purchase order page. To cancel a purchase order, the PO status is dispatched, the receipt status is not received, and the encumbrance balance should equal the total amount. The second step is to check for vouchers or receipts on the purchase order. In order to find out if there are receipts or vouchers on the purchase order, press the Activity Summary link. On the Receipts and Invoice tabs, view the amounts. Both should be 0. If the purchase order has not been receipted or vouchered against, you can cancel it. Otherwise, you need to close it. We'll start with discussing canceling a purchase order. To cancel a purchase order, access the purchase order page. On the header of the purchase order, press the Cancel PO button, which is a red X. Swift displays a message. It is telling you it will not allow further changes to a purchase order once canceled. Press Yes. Swift displays the Cancel Purchase Order page. After you cancel a purchase order or purchase order line, always run the budget check process. Press the budget check button, or if you select OK, Swift will automatically run the budget check process during its regularly scheduled process run. To cancel a purchase order line that has no receipts or vouchers against it, go to the line. Select the line details icon. Swift opens the details for line page. Select the cancel icon. Swift returns you to the purchase order page. It shows the line is canceled. Save the changes, run the budget check, and complete the processing of the purchase order. There are times when you want to cancel all or part of an existing purchase order that you created referencing a requisition from Swift's eProcurement module. Agencies can cancel a purchase order tied to a requisition only if there has been no activity against the purchase order. An activity or document includes an event, requisition, receipt, or voucher. There are additional steps for canceling a purchase order tied to a requisition. Check the reference guides for more information. Now that we've discussed canceling a purchase order or lines, we will focus on closing purchase orders. As a reminder, close a purchase order or a line that has been fully or partially received or vouchered. Close all purchase orders in the buyer's workbench. If you are closing a purchase order referenced from a contract, first use a change order and then close it in the buyer's workbench. Access the buyer's workbench on the left menu of the purchase orders page. Start by selecting or creating a workbench ID. You can close an individual purchase order that you created directly. You can also close a purchase order referencing a contract using a change order and then use the buyer's workbench. And you can close multiple purchase orders using a CSV file in the buyer's workbench. Just like canceling purchase orders, you need to run the budget check after closing purchase orders. Run the budget check in the buyer's workbench. Please view the separate video or reference guides on the steps to close purchase orders using the buyer's workbench. Workbench IDs are reusable. Don't keep adding new ones. They are shared by your agency. Use a change order when you wish to reduce and close a purchase order that references a contract. Use the change order to keep the contract release amounts correct. Then funds flow back to the contract. Before you close it, you must first reduce the purchase order to what's been paid. The change order allows the purchase order to be reduced and then closed in the buyer's workbench. Typically, it is not necessary to reduce blanket purchase orders or other purchase orders not referencing contracts. These purchase orders can be closed directly from the buyer's workbench. Before closing a purchase order that was created with a contract, check the following guidelines to make sure that the funds properly roll back to the contract. Reduce the purchase order to a zero encumbrance before closing the purchase order. If your agency has no activity against a line, cancel the line before closing the purchase order. The reduced amount may not be available on the contract until SWIFT runs the nightly purchase order batch process. The funds may not be available on the contract until the following business day. Here's an example of a purchase order that needs reducing before you can close it. Look at the line for the quantity or price. You can see that this purchase order has a quantity of 2. Review the purchase order to see if your agency vouchered or receipted against it. On the activity summary page for this purchase order, you can see that this purchase order has a voucher for only one of the items. In order to close this purchase order, you will need to update it with a change order. Then you will need to reduce it with a zero encumbrance in order to close it. In the example, reduce the PO quantity from 2 to 1 since the amount vouchered was for only one item. After updating the purchase order, which was reducing the quantity, saving it, approving it, and budget checking, the encumbrance balance is 0. It has been reduced to what's been paid. This purchase order referencing a contract now must be closed in the buyer's workbench. You can close multiple purchase orders by using comma-separated values or comma-delimited CSV files. This process is often used at the end of a fiscal year. The CSV file format allows the purchase order information to be formatted on a spreadsheet. Each record or purchase order has its own line and is separated with commas. SWIFT will upload the file into the buyer's workbench. Use Microsoft Excel to create the CSV file. Create the spreadsheet and line up the columns in the correct order. When you save that Excel file, select CSV, delimited under the Save as Type option. Name and save your file. Then upload the file to the buyer's workbench. Be very careful when adding purchase orders in a range to the Excel file.
Thank you for viewing this SWIFT video. If you need further help, please visit the SWIFT Training Guides and Resources page. To open this page, go to the Minnesota Management and Budget website at mn.gov/mmb. Under the menu options, navigate to Accounting, SWIFT, Training and Support, Training Guides. Don't forget to sign up for the SWIFT newsletter to receive weekly updates on SWIFT. To find the link to subscribe, go to MMB's website. Under the menu options, navigate to Accounting, SWIFT, General Information, Email Lists. If you have any questions about SWIFT, please contact the SWIFT Help Desk for assistance. The SWIFT Help Desk is available from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., Monday through Friday. You may contact the SWIFT Help Desk by emailing swifthelpdesk.mmb@state.mn.us.